Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of robertoblake.com helping you create something awesome today. So today we're going to talk about YouTube sponsorship. This is something I've covered here on the channel before, but I want to go more in depth for those of you who are just getting started. You're trying to get sponsors, you want to understand what they're looking for, how many subscribers you actually need, and what might be appropriate to charge. So let's go ahead and dive into it. YouTube sponsorship is more than about the numbers. It's really about a brand trying to reach the right audience. So they need to be able to partner with a YouTuber that's going to be the exact right fit for them. A primary example would be that the audience for this video is going to be YouTubers, and that's why Grapevine Logic is sponsoring this particular video, and I've partnered with them. They're a great marketplace for anybody trying to do brand deals and get sponsorship around their content. You can go ahead and find a lot of great brands to work with, and they also have a feature for setting up collaborations with other YouTube creators. So they're sponsoring this video because they know that I have an audience of people who really want to learn more about YouTube, want to grow their channel, want to potentially get sponsorship so that they can invest back into the equipment and all the things they need to make their YouTube channel awesome. And that's why we've built a relationship. When you're working with a brand, you need to really identify who your core audience is for your own sake, but also communicate that to the brand so that you can help them figure out where they fit in your content. You want this to be organic. You don't want to feel like a sellout. You don't want the brand to feel like they're wasting their time and their money, and you don't want your audience to just not be interested in what you're doing. A great way to get started is, before you ever reach out to a brand or participate in one of these platforms, is to potentially do videos that would make sense if you were partnered with a brand. And by that I mean, maybe you do tutorials on a product that you're already using, or maybe you do a review of something that you already own. It could be anything from a book, the type of pens or hard drives that you use. Anything that you already own is fair game because you use it every day and it's something that you can speak honestly about. By doing that without it even being sponsored first, you're doing a couple of things. One, you're building that relationship with your audience, and two, you're showing a potential brand sponsor what you can do and how you advocate for products. This also gets you comfortable with the idea of talking about things that you use and enjoy and love, so that means it's going to come across more authentic on your channel because you'll be practiced at it, and that means that you won't be taking a chance, and that the brand won't be taking a chance when you do sponsored content of this thing flopping or you not being able to do it in a very authentic or original way. When you're first getting started, a lot of times you're not going to want to, and you're not going to be able to get upfront money for a YouTube video to be sponsored. A lot of times it's going to be that you're receiving a free product to review and to just give your honest opinion about it. And that's actually a good thing because it helps you establish that relationship, it lets you prove yourself, and it shows your audience that you're not just doing something for the money, but you're actually using the product, or you're educating yourself about it and seeing what it might be like. If you're somebody who's into tech, maybe you want to do a review on like a virtual reality headset or something like that because it's something that's interesting to you. If you do a good job, there's a chance that a sponsor out there might want to partner with you, and you'll at least have an example of what you can do and you can show it to them. This is going to be really helpful when you want to pitch brands because you can actually show them what you've already done and how you review a product, what it's like, and how your audience responded to it. When you're pitching brands, you need to let them understand what's in it for them and how they benefit and what your audience really cares about and why this would be a good partnership. I would say that it's less about telling them the statistics around your channel, but really more relevant information. If they're a business that's based in the UK and you have a strong UK audience, maybe that's a really good piece of information for them to know. If they are a product that's more aligned with a female audience, maybe letting them know what percentage of your audience is female would be something that would be important to them and help both of you decide whether or not this is a good relationship. As far as subscriber counts, we have to be realistic. If you have less than 1,000 subscribers, the odds are most brands are not going to really want to work with you unless they're sending you a free product to review that's under $50 or so. Once you have between 1,000 and 5,000 subscribers, as long as your audience is very niche, meaning that you're doing something very specific, maybe it's tech, maybe it's mobile devices, maybe it's beauty, maybe it's fashion, maybe it's art, if you're doing something very specific and you have at least a few thousand subscribers, it's more likely that a brand will be interested in doing a paid sponsorship with you. It might not be for a lot of money, but will depend on the quality that you can deliver on and also how interested they are in that audience. What you have to remember is that sponsors are usually companies that are doing some kind of other advertising. So they're usually doing some paid advertising and they're paying for a lot of reach, but also for a lot of clicks. Your video is going to be around hopefully for a long time, so there is a value there, but usually they measure it by the first 30 days or so. In some cases, they'll go as much as 60 to 90 days depending on how much attention they're trying to push around a product or a service that they're doing. Keeping this in mind, your view counts actually matter a lot more than your subscribers, at least in terms of the type of content that you're doing. If you do a lot of different types of videos, but the specific type of video that you'd be doing for this brand is the type that gets a lot more views on your channel, that's something important to make them aware of and to show them when you're pitching to them. I'd also say show them some of your most popular videos. I show a lot of brands that might be software, the tutorials that I've done for things like Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe Photoshop, because those have lots of views. Some of them have as much as 100,000 views, and so they understand the potential of what a video could do if it is a tutorial on a piece of software, just depending on how many people in my audience are interested in it. But I also show them the most recent video in that category that I've done so they have a real understanding of whether or not my channel is still relevant for them. So I would just say put yourself in the best position to deliver on something of value for your audience and for the brand, and you'll be fine. As long as you're not overthinking it, the real issue is making sure that you're doing something that's really authentic and still it creates value for everybody. If everybody's winning, then it's a good deal. As far as what to charge, you have to use your own judgment. I don't really consider the videos as a brand paying me to say something about their product or even really to do the review. I consider it paying for my time and my expertise. I consider it the equivalent of a consult because I'm doing research on the product. I'm taking time out of my work schedule running a business to spend time really educating myself about this product and its main selling points. So I think that that's important to keep in mind, and it just depends on what you're going to do. Something else that I throw in is that I do a lot of close-up B-roll footage, so it's almost like getting some extra premium ad placement. And I also promote a lot in social media for all of my videos, so they actually do get some more exposure that they might not have gotten otherwise. These are great things to keep into consideration when you're putting together your proposal and how much you're going to charge for sponsored content, because the more things that you're putting in a list in that package, the more it's going to make sense for a brand in terms of what you might be charging. So really just break it down for them and make sure they understand the value of what you're doing. I hope this answers some of your questions about getting YouTube sponsorship and working with brands. Remember, if you are struggling figuring out how to reach out to brands, GrapevineLogic.com is a great marketplace. It takes a lot of the heavy lifting off of your shoulders because the brands are already there in an easy to find way, and you can communicate with them directly and let them understand what your channel is all about. So I would highly recommend them. I've done some work with them, and we're actually going to be putting out some more videos to help you grow your YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed and staying tuned for that, and make sure you check out GrapevineLogic.com. If you still have questions about how to get YouTube sponsorship and how all of this works, leave those in the comment section. You know I always try to answer as many of your questions as I can. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome content on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so very much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.